That is an excellent question. I've never actually had that question asked. And, you bring up a good point right away. Who is responsible? Well, at that point, the OEM is maybe long gone. Maybe there is no relationship. So I don't think this is the point. I think you definitely can't rely on the OEM. It does have to be in the manufacturing facility. But I think we are wrong to dump this like we dump everything else onto the technicians, as their job really is to keep the equipment running. This is future planning. I think this goes along with the same as if you're planning a new piece of equipment. You need to plan to keep your existing equipment going. So that's somewhere in the engineering realm. I don't know exactly where it is, but yeah, that's an excellent question.
And I wonder again. Go ahead, Dave.
Oh, I was going to say, I would to that point agree with Tim. I think it's difficult. So I have looked at, services and other things that would do this. I don't think that you can rely on the OEM to tell you that it's obsolete, because to me, if I'm the facility and I have an OEM that comes once a year to say, hey, Dave, guess what's obsolete this year? This is the cost of going to replace it. It just feels like they're going to nickel and dime me, right? Like that is not a good conversation. That is not the right conversation starter to have across the board. So I would say probably manager, maintenance, operations, engineering, someone in there would be good to kind of have that as you need to have this as a forward-looking option. I would say it's also, I guess, in my past experience, it's not like we have all of the list of all of the controllers, every item from every manufacturer that's just listed somewhere easily searchable on the internet. And so there's also this, it's not like I could just build everything in a table and then just set like a VLOOKUP script or something like that to go against a known table that exists online, because I don't know of a table like that exists online. So I think it's more of a manual process. But I agree with Tim. If you were to go through and do it once a year, at the beginning of the year, at the end of the year, and the middle during, July shutdown or whatever that looks like, and just to have that forward-looking vision, then at least you can plan for it. And I would say that you could almost also plan to say, hey, this, VFD is going to be obsolete. We have 200 of these up and running. It's not realistic that we're going to be able to replace all of them in the next year or two. Let me go buy some on stock to put them on stock, and then we can slowly go change them out as we have the opportunity to do so.
Right, and that's why I said it's a difficult question, right? Because I don't have the answer either, and it seems to be a very common problem in many facilities. It's just, there's many things going wrong. We need someone to come in and assess our equipment and figure out what's going on. But again, it seems that people kind of know in general what equipment is there, right? Like you were saying, Tim, like techs would service the equipment and they know that it's there, but maybe there's no gap bridged between knowing what's there and like what's actually obsolete, because you do have to do that check with like the OEMs and then follow up and understand those tables. And there's no, again, just as Dave pointed out, there's no automated process for doing that as far as I know as well. And my hope, again, and maybe for someone who's listening from I would say the Industry 4.0 movement, my hope is that at some point you can just scan the network and identify what's there and kind of, again, like maybe send out some kind of reports or send out like email notifications, because as Tim has said, like the Micrologics has been, mature life cycle for 2 years, and it seems like nobody really knew about this. But anyways, that's
so I will say, Vlad, that solution of if the stuff is networked does exist. I know that it exists and it's existed for a couple of years. The other half of the equation is it's still a manual. I need to go find if something is obsolete or not, which is the other part of the equation that you'd have to go through. But there are tools that exist to allow you to do so. I don't particularly know a ton of people who are actively using the tools, because if it's something they aren't currently doing, why would they pay money for something to help solve a problem that they're currently not experiencing, because they're currently not in the process of paying attention to what is obsolete or not?